Yes.
If you were to become president of the United States, what do you see as your most daunting, difficult task?
Oh boy. Well, think about what we're going to inherit. We're going to inherit two wars, one we have to end and one we have to win. We're going to inherit problems across the world. We've had countries in Latin America turning away from democracy and becoming more anti-American. We have the continuing crisis in Darfur, the horrible conflict in Congo, and so many other problems across Africa. We have a deteriorating situation in the Middle East, in some measure because George Bush ignored it when he became president and let it deteriorate, and we're going to have to figure out what to do about that. We will have the challenge of stabilizing Iraq insofar as possible and dealing with Iran, Syria, and all of the neighbors. We've got Russia moving back toward a czarist mentality with Vladimir Putin, and using their increasing wealth and their natural resources to try to bully their way with Eastern Europe. We've got China making tremendous inroads with countries around the world, in part because they don't care very much about human rights. One of our challenges in Sudan and dealing with Darfur is that the Chinese are there in force because of the natural resources. We have a dangerous situation in Pakistan. I mean, everywhere you look, we are going to inherit daunting international problems. And here at home, I predict that unless something is done to reverse it, the economy will be in serious trouble. And we will be back here in New Hampshire like we were when I first came in 1992, where I was in Keene several times, and I've always loved Keene. I loved the Pumpkin Festival, and I loved walking the streets and going to the university. People were losing their jobs, they were losing their health care, and they were afraid of losing their homes. The economy is not working for the vast majority of Americans, and we have a lot of danger signals on the horizon. The dollar is falling. That poses very serious threats to our position in the world. We borrow money from China to buy oil from the Saudis. We've got the problem of global warming. So when you think about what will be on the desk of the next president, historians have told me that it will be some of the most difficult problems of any president since Harry Truman, who had to finish World War II, had to deal with the Soviet threat. They're getting the atomic bomb, the Korean War. I mean, you think about everything we have to try to address. Plus, it seems to me we've got to get back in the business of solving problems in America, like healthcare, like energy, like global warming, like education. So you have to be prepared to deal across the board. And then, if we were to stay here for an hour and every one of us made a list of what other problems, in addition to what I've already talked about, we might face, we would miss some of those that will end up on the desk of the president. Because that's just the way the nature of the world is. And the United States is expected to respond to nearly everything and try to manage all kinds of problems. So I think it will be an especially challenging time. Now, this is a hard job at any time in history. And we've made it increasingly hard. A lot of other countries split the responsibility. They have a head of state, like a queen or a president, and then they have a prime minister who does the governing. Well, we have one person. We roll it all into that one person. And I think the job will be especially hard after Bush and Cheney, because they are going to leave so many problems. It's irresponsible. History will judge them harshly. But I don't see any indication they intend to clean up before they depart. So that's why, as president, I will inherit a wealth of problems. And it's going to take not just the president, but the whole country kind of deciding how we're going to respond and solve these problems. But I'm confident and optimistic about doing it. I don't think there's anything we can't do if we put our minds to it.